All the I cells. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining I today. I am Prima Lights, prepared for this duality dream existence with this identity in this body, in the shattered, fragmented self, as Aset, Art, and Ra. I am the liberator and I advocate for all selves. Are you the kind of person that wants to be in command of your mind? Are you the kind of person that is curious, who is brave and curious about the I existential truth? Oh, I came into being. Are you that kind of a person? Have you ever wondered what makes someone righteous versus unrighteous? Why there is war and poverty and killing and hatred and crime? Have you ever wondered why these things came into existence and what is at the root cause of these problems that's in the world, and why can there never be peace? Have you ever wondered about these things? And so I have wondered about these things. What is the purpose of life? Or what exactly is life? And why can't my mind stop thinking and repeating, replaying things from the past? Why can't the mind be still and calm? Have you ever wondered why the mind is like this? Bringing thoughts that just arise, and you are thinking on each thought and caught up in these memories and loops. Even when you are not thinking, you're trying in a meditation, like myself, trying in a meditation, bringing stillness to the mind. There's visions coming in front of your eyes. The mind is keep showing you things. The mind is saying, bringing intrusive thoughts are coming in, and you're trying so hard to not think these thoughts. Why? How come it is so hard? For example, I'm meditating, practicing stillness, and the thoughts are incessant. They're coming, invading my stillness practice. Thoughts like, I am more powerful than you. And I'm saying, who's saying these things? I am more powerful than you. You are poor. You can't take care of your family. You don't have this. Look at your clothes, how your clothes is all crushed. And so I had to say, but these are not my thoughts. From where does these thoughts arise? Many ones, they have thoughts of suicide. They have thoughts of sexual things. So many thoughts. And I had to come to that realization that from where does these thoughts arise from? If these are not my thoughts. And so I remember calling a friend of mine, and I said, something is wrong with my mind. Something is wrong with my mind. And she says, what's wrong with your mind? I said, there's something wrong with this mind, because I have been practicing stillness, and the more you practice, the more thoughts are coming, crazy thoughts. Something is speaking. Where are these thoughts coming from? I can hear distinctly, clearly. And so I wanted to investigate why the mind was like this. And so when I went into my investigation to figure out why the mind was like this, and why it was so hard for many ones who are struggling with bad habits. When you get into a bad habit, how hard is it to break from that habit? because the mind is habitual. And so once I realized that there was something wrong with this mind, then I wanted to seek why the mind was like this. And so I kept my practice going of stillness, and eventually I learned how to still the mind. And with the vibrations, I needed assistance from the um, inner intelligence. And so when the I self-intelligence arise and assisted this was when I asked the question, why is the mind like this? Why is evil? Where does the evil stem from? Everyone, from people's mind. They're thinking, then they act on their thoughts. And so I wanted to figure out why the mind can never be pure. Why was the mind so impure? And so many ones, we struggle to balance our mind, to balance our thoughts. And I wanted to get to the root of this issue of why the mind was so corrupted, why everyone was in the world doing so much wrong things, that unrighteous things. And I wanted to know the truth. And so once I kept my stillness practice going, and the I self rise up to explain to me, not only that, I experienced the mind, because when I was going through this process, and someone gave me actually helped me to with a chant to say, I am not, and it was so simple, I am not this body, I am not this mind. And I could not believe how powerful those words were saying, because when I called up a friend and I said something is wrong with my mind, I said, where are these thoughts coming from? These are not my thoughts. I said, these are not my thoughts. I don't think like this. So where are these thoughts rising from? So many ones, they don't realize that when the thoughts are coming, they are not your thoughts. And so that's why many ones are thinking those thoughts and they're acting on the thoughts. But if you can separate yourself from the thoughts and see that these thoughts are not me, there's something wrong with this mind. Why is this mind thinking these things? Someone, you might call someone at the moment they didn't answer you. Right away, the mind start bring up a lot of negative things of why they're not answering you or all these things. This is what the mind does. It creates a whole lot of problem where there's no problem. And so I started looking into this to find a solution to this mind issue. And this is why many ones, they're dwelling and following their thoughts. Your mind is telling you a story that is not true. And many ones, they can discern between what their minds are telling them, because the mind is delusional. And so when I went through the process of castrating the ego false self, and a dagger appeared to me, and I said, but what is this for? But it was to dissect and dissolve the ego false self. It's a it's a it's a it's a it's a it's an experience that you must have. It's also a decision that you must make, that you want to be rid of the ego false self, and you want to be your real and true self, and to come into true realization that the mind, the ego, is not you. It is just a duality sleeping mind that you are using to explore the dream. And so once the I self, the primal guru within arise, and because it is the destiny of the guru, the teacher within, the I self soul, to rise and pull the ego off of the sleeping self completely, to pull it off so that the self can come awake. And so once that happened and the mind was running up and down inside of the body, running up to my foot and everything. And when I said this to ones, they said, "Oh, it sounds like you are going crazy. How can the mind do this?" But you cannot know this, how crazy this mind is, until you decide that you're going to denounce all ties to this dream existence and give up this ego false self. So, because when you are sleeping and entranced in the dream, you cannot know this until you decide that you want to know why the mind is like this. And so, once I got to the root, I said I want to get to the root of the issue. I realized that because the consciousness was sleeping and dreaming, the consciousness did not have any light, and the light and the consciousness is indivisible. And here in this duality dream existence, to create this dream existence, the light had to be obscure from the consciousness. The consciousness goes to sleeping and dreaming of this existence. So anything you want, you have to get it in a dream. This is why most ones they say, I have a dream. And when you have a dream, because you're inside of a dream, you can manifest your dream. And so this is the sleeping dreaming mind, because it only understands the dream. And so you can manifest the things that you dream. But I never really had any dreams. My whole goal was I wanted to know the truth of my existence, and I wanted to liberate myself from the cycle of this life. I never wanted to return back into this life. And so for me, my interest was different. And so this was why my experience was different, because I wanted to get to the root of everything. So are you the kind of person who want to know truth? Are you the kind of person who just wants to follow blindly? Are you brave? Are you curious enough to take the path to true self-realization and to question this mind, to question everything? And so this is what I did, because I wanted to liberate myself from this crazy existence, because I did not understand the process of the duality, the process of the mind, and everything just seemed strange to me. And I wanted to know why everything was the way that it is. So what do you know for sure? What I know for sure is that this mind, this consciousness, this duality existence, that it is sleeping and dreaming. And it is very habitual. The mind is very habitual. I know that all evil stems from the mind. I know that thoughts arise in the mind that don't belong to you. You have to know that you have to separate yourself from the mind and know that I am not the body, neither am I the mind. I am the self, the sleeping self that is animating the body. I am the soul self. And so the sleeping self must wake up and join union back with its soul self to be one unified self, so you can know this truth, so you can know why your mind is so devious, so habitual. Many ones are falling into many bad habits: alcoholism, drugs, but sexual over sexual behaviors, um, crime, rape, stealing, so many bad habits, drug habits, um, just so many habits, gossiping habits. I mean, just so many habits the mind fall into. Once it fall into it, it just become a pattern for that individual. And so I wanted to see what was the solution to this problem of the mind. And so I learned that within the I self, within the center of the chest, there is a void with the space that the self, a soul dwells, and the void within is the self with the destiny to bring stillness to the mind, but one has to engage in stillness practice and the vibrations of Asom. Then the affirmation, mind, be still, be still, be still. Mind, be still and know that I am in command. I am in command. I am in command of the commandment command. And as I have commanded, so let it be. So it is. And so this is one of the things that helps the mind. And of course, there stillness techniques of pulling the mind out of the head, bringing it into the void, so that the void can still the mind. And so it is time for us to look at the root of the problems in the world, because many ones your mind is delusional and is telling you stories, making up things that is not true. And this is why there's war in the world, because one side is telling a story to cover up the wrong that it is mind is telling it, and and no one is seeing all as myself. Because when you can come to the realization that all is myself, and if myself over there does not eat, I myself is not eating, I will starve. Because all is myself, then I must make sure that all myself eats, that I don't go warring with myself. Why are we doing this? Because the mind is sick, and everyone is in the ego false self. Their mind is telling them untruth. Their mind is telling them stories, and they're going out and acting out these stories in the world. And we have to come to this realization that we are one self, and that we can start caring for myself. If you don't care about anyone else in the world, you don't care about yourself, because all is one self. And so we have to come to this realization so that we can see all as myself, and then we won't think that we need to go war with yourself. You don't think that you need to take all the food for yourself, all of the land for yourself. This is the ego that's doing this, because everyone is in the ego false self. They don't see all as themselves. Everyone wants to take, gimme, 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 gimme from myself. They want for the individual. And so this is the problem. So are you brave enough to step into the truth and make the righteous action to still this mind, enter into stillness, and to be practicing stillness, to know that all problems in the world, all evil stems from this mind, because this is the sleeping, dreaming mind. This is the mind that is sleeping and creating things inside of his dream, and everyone is thinking that the dream creations are real, and everyone is holding on to their dream things, their dream body, and their dream family, and all of their dream experiences. And no one really wants to inquire into the real. Are you brave enough? Are you the kind of person that wants to know truth? Or do you just want to be immersing yourself into the dream? Because many ones are saying that why are we here? We are here to immerse ourselves into the dream. No, you're here to master and learn about yourself. When you go to sleep and dream, in dreaming state, you're here because you've shattered yourself into a self puzzle, and you need to put your self puzzle pieces back together again. And to master this duality so you will never have this experience again. Once you master it, then that's the end of this. And so this is what is happening right now with the I Self Supreme. It's mastered this duality and is ready to dissolve it. And so it's time for all of us to get to know ourselves. So I ask, what do you know for sure? Not what your mind tells you, not what someone else tells you, but what do you know for sure? So I want to thank you for joining. I will see you in the next video.